Okay, so I'm gonna turn my mic up here.
They can't say that right.
You got better. All right. So hopefully you guys can see us. But this is Toby from South Charleston Public Library. Welcome to Teen Talk. And we just wanted to let you guys know that this week's program is about exploration and STEM, and we are also talking about archaeology this week with our special guest, who I will introduce in a little bit. We are really excited to have more than 50 readers signed up with us. So thank you guys for signing up. Thank you for reading with us. And so again, I'm your host, Toby. This is my co-host, Annette, this week.
Hi, everyone.
And this is our special guest, Leslie. And Leslie's actually new here at the library. She's our new youth services assistant. So be sure if you see her next time you're in, you say hello. Miss Annette's going to get us started with our Wall of Prizes Spotlight. So here's about four prizes you can win on the Wall of Prizes by reading. So
I know. This one everybody seems to like. It's the Kitty Nightlight, and it comes with all of the books. It's a collector's edition of the Fruits Basket series. So that is one of our prizes there. The next one, I know.
Fruits Basket's my favorite. So
Best we have is a 3D garden. You put together all of these critters, and then you have ability to paint them, and they kind of look like they're metal. I'm not too sure. Better not open it though, so we'll see what that one's about. Then this one is the fidget cube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we hope that you like that one. And then the final one that we have to show you today is a craft and colored pencils and the charcoal and the pencils to go with it, which is a really neat thing. We know a lot of you all are very artistic in the things that you draw and things, so we hope you enjoy that one also.
Yeah, I think those are pretty great. All right, so if he is prepared, we are going to start our interview with the pro. And our pro this week is special to us here at the library, not only because he agreed to be our archaeology representative, because he is a archaeologist, but also because he's Miss Annette's son. So we're really glad. So I'm going to switch over, and we will be able to see him. All right, Josh, I think we have you with us. So welcome to Teen Talk, and to start with, hold on, let me make sure that your audio, that we have you turned up. Okay. Making sure we got audio input capture too. Okay. I think we're good. Make sure. Okay. I think I fixed it. Okay. So sorry, we had a little echo there again. But tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Well, I grew up in West Virginia, and I went to school to be an archaeologist. I spend my days either in an office writing reports about things I find, or the more fun aspect for me is being out in the field and digging holes to see if I can find things related to the past and human cultures that we can then compare and write about.
That's really cool. So what is the thing that excites you most about what you do, besides, I guess, also digging holes? But like, what's your most exciting thing when you go to work and you hope to see?
It's honestly, it's how much it's different every day, because the locations of where we're digging or the locations of where we're writing the reports about change every day, and so it's almost a new adventure every time I get a new project to work on. So I never know what it's going to entail, what could have happened there before, and just getting to uncover that and explore is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's really cool. I think like one of the more exciting things like is getting to work outside also. I think that's fun for a lot of people in those.
I think, Josh, can you mention where you are currently located and what was the big project that you recently got off of?
Yeah, so I'm located just outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth area of Texas, and I spent Just about a year working on a new reservoir that's being put in northeast of the city. So there were about 5 or 6 prehistoric sites out there that we were excavating and trying to get as much information and data as we could before it gets covered with water, which is actually, I just saw a news article, they are just starting to fill that reservoir now.
That's kind of cool. That's a good, like, because you get to go out there and like preserve history,
Yes.
and that's really nifty. So yeah, while we're on that, where you're located and stuff, you work for Integrated Environmental Solutions, right? Which is an archaeology or environmental kind of firm.
It's
And
actually both.
yeah, yeah, both. It's both. And you have a friend with you also that has something to do with your job. So do you want to introduce your friend real quick before we move any farther?
This is this is my little buddy Benedict. He kind of started off. I found him on one of the shelves because they made these. We give them away at conferences occasionally, and I started carrying him around in my little vest pocket so he can see what was going on. And then I just started taking pictures of him when we were out digging together. And we even have one that has safety gear for him, so he has like a little safety vest and hard hat that he can wear when he's in dangerous areas.
Nice.
That's great. All right. So does he squeak?
No, no, it does not squeak.
Okay. If you could give your teenage self advice about preparing for the future, what would you say?
Um, Honestly, just to kind of stay focused, I kind of took a circuitous route
Hmm.
to my degree, and especially for this field, you do have to have at least a bachelor's to be able to do this. Even just it sounds simple that you're digging a hole, but you have to be able to recognize the soil types, what you're digging up, and there's so many different things that I've picked up in my career as well. So just to stay focused and keep pursuing after that, because there's just so much to learn.
Yes. So what is something you wish more people knew about archaeology?
We don't dig up dinosaurs.
That's paleontology.
Correct. But that is probably the most often asked question I get is if we dig up dinosaurs.
All right. What what's the coolest thing you have ever discovered?
Um, Actually, out here in Texas about 5 years ago, I found a very tiny little drill bit that was just so tiny, but it was beautiful. And it was about, we estimate from the material and from the style that it was about 2,000 years old, but it was just so fragile and that it was able to survive for so long.
Yeah, that's really cool. Do they, so they said it's about 2,000 years old. So, what would be like the provenance? Do you know like who would have used it 2,000 years ago for in that
Oh,
area?
well, that's kind of up for debate because in that part of Texas, the local tribes were going to be mostly nomadic about that time because of how hot the interior of Texas can get. So they would move back and forth. And to be honest, I know more about the central Ohio Valley area prehistorically than the Texas area because I've only been here about a year and a half. So I'm still learning all of it.
Still learning. Because I know so I did some geology classes
Yes.
in college, and so when we went out to Baez Caldera, there's obsidian there, and they talked a little bit about archaeologists tracking like which tribes went where by if they had that like if they had traded that obsidian or trading like yeah like trade routes. So archaeology is pretty nifty. You can learn all kinds of things, and it's tied into a lot of disciplines. So. Here is, well, we have a couple more. So, do you know what you want to be when you grow up yet?
Well, as far as archaeology, I'm kind of where I want to be.
Yeah.
If there is a career route to go and get a master's degree, and then you become what's called a principal investigator in archaeology, and that means you kind of run the projects and you oversee them, and you do more of the interpretation and report writing.
Mhm.
But that also means that you're in front of a computer more often, and I really like being in the field, so I kind of like where I'm at.
Yeah, that's really cool. So your mom says that you've always been interested in digging in the dirt, even since you were very little. But how did you first become interested in archaeology specifically? And how old were you?
Well, 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I had an interest in history from when I was very little, and I did go through my dinosaur phase and paleontology. But then when I realized that I could actually dig up uh, artifacts that were related to historical events, it just kind of combined my passion of digging in the dirt with history, and I kind of just latched onto it. And I think I was maybe 11 when I told him I was leaving the state to start studying for archaeology.
That's true. That
It's true.
is very true.
All right, I have two more, and they're well, one's not so much a silly question, but it's a silly name. So there's a special name you use for people that do what you do, and you were just telling us about it. So could you explain shovel bums to our
Yeah.
readers?
Shovel bums. So in my field of archaeology, which is called cultural resource management, or CRM for short, it's a lot of private companies that perform the work. And instead of them having a bunch of archaeologists on staff all the time because weather gets in the way and seasons affect how much we can work in the field, a lot of us are kind of nomadic, and we travel around the country with our shovels in our cars, and we work from job to job wherever the work can be found. And so the nickname that we've come up with is shovel bums.
All right. All right, last one. So, and again, it's a silly question, but when have you felt the most like Indiana Jones?
Oh, honestly, I mean, probably early in my career, I was doing a project on a military base in Georgia outside of Savannah, and we were about waist deep in the swamp, just wading through it, looking for little outlying areas to survey. And just knowing, the wild pigs and the snakes and the alligators in the area, it just reminded me a lot of some of the movies I've seen.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Josh. We really appreciate it, and we'll hope to see you around. But good luck out there digging in the dirt, and we
Thank you.
hope someone else is interested in archaeology now. All right.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Let's go back to maybe. I don't know. All right. I believe it is just us back with y'all now. So we really do appreciate Josh joining us. And so now we're moving on to our next little section here where we talk about our book or books of the week. If you picked up a craft kit last week, you picked up the Barcode Tattoo by Suzanne Wayne and published by Scholastic. So this is a kind of nifty YA like dystopian novel. So just to give you a little overview of the plot. So it is apparently the year 2025, but in the year 2020, which we've been through already, a global Global One is the name of like the government organization has taken over and have started the process of offering everyone barcode tattoos. And so the barcode tattoo basically gives you access to like it accesses your money, it accesses your travel passport, like everything that you do in society is tied to your tattoo. But there are sinister forces at work behind that as well. So that's all I can really tell you about that. But most people are supposed to get the tattoo at age 17. And so this book focuses on a few teenagers that are faced with the choice of whether or not to get the tattoo and seeing how that would affect their lives. So if just the short snippet on the back here is they give a few concepts that the book is about: individuality versus conformity, identity versus access, and freedom versus control. So one of us read and a couple of us glanced at the books this week. So Miss Leslie is going to answer our questions. So the first thing that Leslie mentioned to me is that she found the point of view kind of strange. So, Leslie, what did you think of the point of view?
So the point of view for the barcode tattoo is third person, and I prefer first person because I like to be in the head of whoever's. I like to be in the center of the plot, what's happening. And if it's third person, it's really hard to get myself into the story. Where first person, it's easier to.
So for me, I have an opposite perspective on that because I know like a lot of people do really like first person because you're right there in the head of the character.
Yeah.
And first person I like a lot for most things, but sometimes if I don't relate to the main character, I prefer third person because I don't want to be in their head because they make me feel weird when I'm in their head. So I like that so much.
From my perspective, it's the other way around too. Sometimes I like for someone to be telling me the story of what's going on. So we have 3 different impressions.
So you can
on
kind
how
of
to read
space
the book.
yourself
Yes.
a little bit. All right.
This one, the third person does get into Kayla's head though.
Yeah.
So you know her thoughts still, but it says she still.
But you're not like
Yeah.
you're not them, which
Yeah.
is that's kind of what it means. Like I like third person omniscient a little bit. I think probably best where they actually know everything that's going on, including the character's thoughts, but like not being like in their
Their space.
not being them. Because sometimes I don't know, I'm weird about that, but. Yeah, I know that for a lot of people, it actually helps you get into the story because the things feel like they're happening to you. So that's pretty cool. So what did you find the most interesting about the story?
So
Miss
probably the barcode tattoo itself. Since this takes place 4 years in the future now,
Apparently.
Yes.
it could. I mean, we've seen stuff on the news that say they're chipping and stuff like that for groceries or different businesses to get into buildings. So I mean, it could happen, but it's interesting that this was written in I think 2004, and so it's pretty on track to what the technology is now. So
I think the main principal difference there for the technology is that for some reason the application of not accepting the barcode tattoo in this story means that you start to develop psychic powers, which is weird. So
Yeah.
let me check into that one.
yeah,
So
that's not it. Yeah.
so that's strange. Okay, so what did you? Well, we kind of touched on this.
Yeah.
So what did you think of the setting and that it's based basically now and like did they have a good concept of where we were going to be in the future at that point in time, or are there things that are just like way out that we haven't even looked at yet?
Well, the 2020 where the global one took over and was one government. We're not there yet, luckily. So that's not true. But like I said, the barcode tattoo and where the government's controlling, that's not true either. But the government controlling is a good dystopian part of books. So
like trope and
yeah, but 4 years in the future is a little eerie.
yeah, that's a little close. Close for comfort. And also like I mean it's the barcode tattoo is all of the information about you.
Yeah.
Which I think can definitely be tied to phones and computers and all of the things that we put ourselves out there on, which aren't necessarily bad things, but definitely something to be aware of. But it's
but we did have a conversation just before we came on about our phones and how they can track us at least.
Yeah.
But you can put it down and walk away.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
not so much with the
With
tattoo.
the tattoo, no, it's stuck to you.
Yeah, so there are 3 books in this series. So if you read the first one or part of it and like it, feel free to come by and pick it up. We still have some craft kits left over from last week. So if you didn't get your craft kit, feel free to come by and get it. And even some of the books still in them because we do not have quite enough books for all of the craft kits. There's some available. But thank you, Miss Leslie, for helping us out with that one. So this week, speaking of crafts, this week our theme for the week is to eat healthy and grow. So I'll let Miss Annette hold up this part. That's your bowl of dirt. If you would like to practice your digging skills. So our craft kit this week is we have some, you can't see too well, but we have a egg carton seed starter here. We have several different seeds. We have carrots, radishes, and peanuts, and I cannot remember what the other one was. Peas.
Peas.
They were peas. for you to grow at home. And then also, because all things are good in moderation, we have packed you a little snack to make at home as well. That is not necessarily in the healthy food department, so share with somebody. But we have these, and then so your peas, radishes, and carrots will be started in here, and then in there is where you will grow your peanuts. It's all on the instruction sheet, so if you're not picked it up yet, be sure to check it out and pick it up. And then our book for next week is Speak. So make sure that you check that out as well. Make sure you come by and grab a copy of Speak. We have it at the library. We have a few in the craft kits, and then we also have several of it available to borrow and on Hoopla as well, I believe. All right. Last quick thing is we usually show off our submitted crafts. I actually don't think you can see this too well, so I'm going to try to zoom in. Zoom in on it a little bit. So this craft, it's one of the rocks for our rock garden, is from Maddie. And I'm fairly certain the quote on the front is from Renegades by Marissa Meyer. And it's "One cannot be brave without any fear." So make sure that I assume this book has Maddie's endorsement, and it is a really good book. So make sure you guys come in and check it out. Here we have a copy here at the library, but it is also, again, available in our online resources. All of Marissa Meyer's books are. So thank you guys for joining us for Team Talk today. We hope that you will join us again next week. Again, we really appreciate Josh McCormick coming on and helping us with our program. And so I'm Toby.
I'm Leslie.
And I'm Annette.
And we'll see you guys next time.